All right, howdy, friends, man. What a long intro. Man, I pulled out a pedal board here that I hadn't used in a while, just for the tuner, really. And I've only got a minute here. I want to do this real quick. I'm going to meet Ashley. Man, it's been a hell of a year. I mean, good God Almighty, I'm exhausted. As exhausted as a musician can be, right? I was like, our tired is not like if you just roofed all day in August in South Mississippi, right? But you know, it's been a hell of a year, man. We've seen a lot of great projects come to fruition and be successful. And so, man, nothing but you know, gratitude and positive energy here from old GT and sunny East, not so sunny East Nashville, Tennessee. Telecasting to you from there with the old Danocaster. This has been a good guitar. Needs to go get a little checkup, but I think it's doing all right. I'm using this little Echoplex delay. I've got a Boss DM2 delay on here, a tremulator by Demeter, an old Landgraf overdrive, a Nobles, old Nobles of course, tap tempo for the Echoplex, an RC booster, and a tuner. I'll hold that up at some point. Well, I might as well just do it right now. I'll show you real quick. This is just a board. I got a bunch of boards laying around here, but this is just one of them. Just for fun, I'll show you this, and then I got a couple other pedals I'd like to tell you about. But this is my little spare board that I keep around just to have, you know, for fun. You get bored and start trying to do shit like that, you know. But luckily we got the guys at XTS. Of course, I'm fighting some nasal congestion or whatever, guys. So sorry for that, but. Luckily, we've got those guys over at Exact Tone Solutions that can really get these pedal boards nicely wired up for us and all professional and you know, clean and sounding good and everything's in the right order and all that shit. You know, it helps to try to be professional in this business. Sorry, I don't know what's going on here, but anyway, man, I looked in the mirror this morning and I'm realizing I'm getting a lot of gray starting to come in here to this beard. You know, it's just going to happen. Let me show you this real quick, guys. I want to talk to you a little bit about the gig last night. We went and played with the trio at the Underdog, and man, those crowds are getting to be really consistent. It's packed every time we play there, which is really amazing. Hey, I was down at Brett Papa's the other day, and we got a course coming out soon, by the way, that's going to be amazing. And I was playing with a couple of his new pedals down there from Keeley, and these guys at Keeley are amazing human beings. They're really nice guys, and they came out with the Hillbilly Halo, and this has got the dotted eighth note on it, so this is called the Halo Core. This is so fun. I'll let you know what it sounds like at some point, but it's don't even just buy this thing. And I'm not affiliated with Keeley other than just being friends with them, but their pedals are cool, man, and they're inspiring. And so that's what a pedal should be, or an amp should be, or a guitar should be. If you want to keep playing, then that means it's a good piece of gear. I know Uncle Larry did some gear thing the other day. I'm not caught up with Uncle Larry's channel, but I need to be. But what I was gonna say is you know, the gear, it should be inspiring. It should make you want to keep playing it. If it doesn't make you want to keep playing it, I'm done. And these are inspiring pedals. This is a stereo reverb and tremolo called the Zoma by Keeley. And this is the Halo Core. So check those out when you get a chance. You're going to not be disappointed by those. And then, man, you know, I went to the gig last night and I was feeling a little rough and low energy, you know. And as soon as you start playing, all that goes away, of course. You know, music kind of takes over and you go into this zone, you know. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about a little bit is and I'm going to get to some ideas here in just a second. But, you know, going into this zone where when guys are asking me and they're like, hey, what are you thinking about when you're playing? Well, nothing. I'm thinking about, nothing and everything all at the same time. And all this stuff that you're playing you're navigating your way through this thing so fast because you've been doing this for so long that it's just second nature. So there is no real thinking about any of this stuff. I'm thinking about like, okay, am I producing a good, am I producing a good sound? Is my guitar in tune? There's like, all the things are happening all at the same time. Okay. So if I'm playing something like where I know in the first few seconds of the gig, whether I'm going to create liftoff and have a the momentum of having a good gig where I'm not spiraling out of control with trying to play catch up. Because as soon as your brain kicks in and starts overthinking it and going, oh God, I made a little mistake, I got to try to recover, you're toast. You're done. Very few times can you recover at that moment and keep the plane from crashing. You got to create liftoff, and you got to keep it going all night, And when we're playing music like that trio, man, you're not just sitting over there playing, little diamonds and stuff. It's full on playing. So, I can tell, I try to kind of like start with a couple little things, like if we're playing buck dancers, I'm going to expand on that in just a second, but that little thing, is a fun little takeoff spot. So if I start it, but the chords are changing fast. It's going C, F, C. We did this a little bit yesterday with Young Tom, right? C. I'm just expanding on that actually. So C, F, C, G, C, F, C, G, F, right? So quick, and then I'm adding some lines to that and bass notes to that, to where the rhythm kind of propels the song, right? And so, and the drummer is like, he's syncopating and he's doing, rhythmic things that of course that propel the energy. These guys are amazing musicians. They know how to keep this energy going. So for me, I gotta just try to not fuck it up. So if I'm doing this, what I'm thinking about is, okay, if I'm here, I don't want to get myself down. I don't want to paint myself into a corner down here in the low strings, and I don't want to paint myself into a corner up here in the high strings. I want to keep it kind of, I'm going to be jumping around. Okay, well, that's one time through, right? So, okay, safe, right? Stuff, it might go up there, right? So there's these ideas, double stops. So you're getting onto these ideas, right? And then you might incorporate some more kind of bebop lines, and your solo is going to take a curve and have hopefully a nice beginning, middle, and an end. So I'm not meaning to play a bunch of stuff that's over or under anybody's head here, but that's just kind of what you're thinking about. You're thinking about, okay, well, how can I keep this energy and stuff going without me crashing and burning and getting my mind in the way? There's definitely a flow that can happen where you get on this wave and you just ride it, and it can happen, and it can stay that way for 2 or 3 hours. That's the place we're all trying to get to. And so Getting back to this rhythm thing, and then I know this is not going to be a long thing, but I appreciate you taking the time yesterday to say hi to young Tom. He's a good one, man. That kid's become a really good friend, and man, he's really smart. These young people, Ashley, she's really young too, and works with me, and they're so smart. You know, they don't have a lot of experience yet, but they're getting it. And definitely a crash course working with my crazy ass, but they're a huge help. You know, I pay them and everything too, but they're a big help to me. And then of course my business manager and you know the other people that work with me are you know they're adults, they're older than I am, but the you know Ashley and Tom having the young people around, it's inspiring, man. They're smart. They're not like me when I was that age. I was a total fuck up, you know, and so you know they're really smart. They need. There's one thing that the younger generation I find has not caught on to yet though, and this is really funny. They don't put things back where they found them. If they come over, they do stuff and on the computer, and they leave, and everything's all over the place. Nobody puts. Maybe your kids do. I don't know, but the youngsters that I'm working with, they don't put things back the way they found them. You know, if you move something at somebody's house or do something, use something, you got to put it back. That's one of the first things you learn. Of course, I'm kind of kidding and busting their chops a little bit on that, but man, it's all good. I'm lucky to have some great help. We got some fun newsletters coming out soon that you got to check out. Please join the mailing list. If you do anything at all, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and please join the mailing list. We're about to hit 95,000 followers here. Of course, I'd love to hit 100. My OCD, you know, would love to see that number go to a nice 100,000 on YouTube. It will, but I got to keep my end of the bargain, right? So when you're playing this, getting back to some guitar stuff here, because there's so much to talk about. I mean, there's some crazy stuff coming up this year. Going to Hawaii with Billy Gibbons. Don't forget about Chicago. Night 2 is still on sale. Chicago with Uncle Larry, that and the whole crew. We're taking Jed and Nick and Jimmy and the rhythm section and everything. And that's February 7th and 8th in Chicago at Martyrs. 7th is sold out, but there's still tickets in the link below for the 8th. So please spread the word and come to that. I'm going to be a guest of Billy Gibbons in Hawaii with the BFGs. That's Chris Layton on drums from Stevie Ray Vaughan's great trio and band with Reese Winans, of course. And we're going to be at the Blue Note in Honolulu in the end of January, 16, 17, 18 or something like that. And I'm just playing the last 3 songs of the night with them. And so we'll be at the Blue Note in Honolulu all 3 nights. Then I go to New Orleans for about 4 or 5 days for a dear friend of mine's birthday party down there. We're going to be at the Maple Leaf. I can't really tell you what the date that is because it's a private party, but we're taking Jack Roosh and Adam Wakefield, Doug Belote, the great New Orleans drummer, one of my brothers, and then just ramping into a hell of a year. The Brett Papa course is coming out. We've got a new Artist Works course refresher that's coming out, a completely new thing. Lots of shit, okay, guys? So definitely stay in touch, and I'll, you know, check out the website and all the things that we do. So got to give you a little sales pitch. End of the year, immersions and guitar stuff. They make great gifts. We know it's hard to find thoughtful gifts. Do a guitar lesson with me, man. That helps me make a living. So to get to this rhythm thing, so I wanted to show you, taking an idea like this little C, F, and G, 1, 4, 5. You know, this could be like this. It's about rhythm, right? We got to get back to the rhythm. And so if I'm doing a little kind of tune like Buck Dancers, which is an old folk song, you know. Well, I turned that into like kind of an African thing where it's like, you know. You know, Latin, African, where you're using these triads like. That up, but you get the idea. So you see what happened there. I didn't mark the chord. So if you're not marking the chord changes and being aware of the chord changes in this thing, it's just going to get off the rails into something that doesn't sound like music anymore, because it's happening so fast. You gotta really mark those changes. So here's how I would incorporate the rhythm to expand on this a little bit. I'm gonna, instead of just going, okay, I'm gonna do this. 1, 3, right? So you hear this movement, right? So when you add the chords to that and these little kind of rhythmic things to keep it moving and keep it, you have to be putting enough information out there to where it makes sense. This is so much a language. It is ultimately a language, right? And so I told this guy the other day, I said, if you only learn the pentatonic scales, it's like going to Italy and only learning 3 words of Italian. That's about as much as you're saying, right? So let's get into this one more time. I'm going to add a few little rhythmic things to it. You can also add the 2 minor before the 5 chord. So that'd be a D minor going to G. You can also add 3 minor to the 2 minor to the 5, which would be in minor 7. So if I go, and I'm also going C to C7, F to F7, C to C7, G to G7. Even if the other guitar player is playing major chords, I'm insinuating 1 to the 7. And that's what creates the movement. So if I go, that's an F triad with the flat 7 on the low notes. So I'm dancing around and creating this movement, right? Oh, shit, sorry. That's right. So you can kind of start getting into this style. But that's the idea. I can expand on that, of course, for a long time, but I don't have a whole lot of time this morning. So I wanted to just expand a little bit on what we talked about yesterday. Talk about the getting out of your mind and getting into the liftoff, where you can create some liftoff with your playing and you're kind of going at that point and you're kind of just in this place that we all are trying to get to musically, where you're out of your mind. And so and let me know what you guys do out there. I mentioned something about been thinking about the music stuff and the career and the small business that we're running here, and the work that we put into it, and the success that's happening, and not only monetarily, it's been record years for the past 2 or 3 years, and this year's no exception. It's been an amazing year thanks to you guys, a lot of you, and you know who you are. And so, man, let me know what you guys do. It's not how much money. I'm not asking how much money you make a year. I'm asking, like, what businesses are you guys in? What are your hobbies? What are you good at? What do you love to do? What are you up to, man? Let me know in the comments. And guys, thanks a bunch. I'm not feeling that great, but I'm gonna go seize the day as we do, and look forward to seeing you guys down the road real soon. Thanks a bunch. Telecasting out from East Nashville. All right, see y'all later. Bye.